Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Dhena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. We're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 2, prayers by the demigods to Lord Krishna within the womb. And today's verse is number 30. Tvayam bujaksha kila sattvadhamni Tvayam bujaksha kila sattvadhamni Tvayam bujaksha kila sattvadhamni Samadhina veshita chetasaike Samadhina veshita chetasaike Samadhina veshita chetasaike Tvatpada potena mahatkritena Tvatpada potena mahatkritena Tvatpada potena mahatkritena Kurvanti govatsapadam bhavabdim Kurvanti govatsapadam bhavabdim Kurvanti govatsapadam bhavabdim Tvayam bujaksha kila sattvadhamni Samadhina veshita chetasaike Tvatpada potena mahatkritena Kurvanti govatsapadam bhavabdim Tvayi, in you, Ampuja Aksha, O lotus-eyed Lord, Akila Sattvadhamni, who are the original cause of all existence, from whom everything emanates, and in whom all potencies reside. Samadhina, by constant meditation and complete absorption in thoughts of you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aveshita, fully absorbed, fully engaged. Chetasa, but by such a mentality. Eke, the one process of always thinking of your lotus feet. Tvatpada potena, by boarding such a boat as your lotus feet. Mahatkritena, by that action which is considered the most powerful original existence, or which is executed by Mahajanas. Kurvanti, they make. Govatsapadam, like the hoofprint of a calf. Bhava Abdim, the great ocean of nations. Translation. O lotus-eyed Lord, by concentrating one's meditation on your lotus feet, which are the reservoir of all existence, and by accepting those lotus feet as the boat by which to cross the ocean of nations, one follows in the footsteps of Mahajans, great saints, sages, and devotees. By this simple process, one can cross the ocean of nations as easily as one steps over the hoofprint of a calf. Please repeat. O lotus-eyed Lord, by concentrating one's meditation on your lotus feet, which are the reservoir of all existence, and by accepting those lotus feet as the boat by which to cross the ocean of nations, one follows in the footsteps of Mahajanas, great saints, sages and devotees. By this simple process, one can cross the ocean of nations as easily as one steps over the hoofprint of a calf. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. The true mission of life is to cross the ocean of nations, of repeated birth and death. Those in the darkness of ignorance, however, do not know this mission. Instead, being carried away by the waves of material nature, prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha, they are undergoing the tribulations of mrityu samsara vratmani, repeated birth and death. But persons who have achieved knowledge by the association of devotees follow Mahajanas, Mahatkartena. Such a person always concentrates his mind upon the lotus feet of the Lord and executes one or more of the 9 varieties of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. Simply by this process, one can cross the insurmountable ocean of nations. Devotional service is powerful in any form. Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshita Bavad Vaisesika Kirtane, from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.265. According to this verse, Maharaj Parikshit became liberated by fully concentrating his mind on hearing the Lord's holy name, attributes and pastimes. Similarly, Shukadeva Goswami simply glorified the Lord, and by speaking on the subject matters of Krishna that constitute the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, he too was liberated. One may also be liberated simply by sakhya, friendly behavior with the Lord. Such is the power of devotional service, as we learn from the examples set by the Lord's many pure devotees. Swayambhur Narada Shambhu Kumara Kupilo Manu Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Palir Vaisesika from Bhagavatam 6.3.20. We have to follow in the footsteps of such devotees, for by this one easy process, one can cross the great ocean of nations, just as one might cross a small hole created by the hoof of a calf. Here the Lord is described as Ambujaksha, or lotus-eyed. By seeing the eyes of the Lord, which are compared to lotus flowers, one becomes so satisfied that one does not want to turn his eyes to anything else. Simply by seeing the transcendental form of the Lord, a devotee is at once fully absorbed in the Lord in his heart. This absorption is called samadhi. Dhyana vaschitta tadgatena manasa pashanti yam yogina, from Bhagavatam 12.13.1. A yogi is fully absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for he has no other business than to think of the Lord always within the heart. It is also said, Samashitaye padapalava plavam mahatpadam punya yasho marare bhavam bhurir vatsapadam param padam yan vipadam nitesham. For one who has accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Murari. Everyone say Murari. The enemy of the Mura demon. The ocean of the material world is like the water contained in the calf's hoofprint. His goal is Parampadam, or Vaikuntha, the place where there are no material miseries, not the place where there is danger at every step. At Bhagavatam 10:14-58. This process is recommended here by authorities like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, Swayambhur Narada Shambhu, and therefore we must make this process, we must take to this process in order to transcend nescience. This is very easy, but we must follow in the footsteps of great personalities, and then success will be possible. In regard to the word Mahatkritena, it is also significant that the process shown by great devotees is not only for them, but also for others. If things are made easy, this affords facility for the person who has made them easy, and also for others who follow the same principles. The process recommended in this verse for crossing the ocean of nescience is easy, not only for the devotees, but also for common persons who follow the devotee. Mahajano yena gata sapanta. Vayam bujaksha kila satvadami samani navesha chacheta saike. Tvatpadapotena mahatkritena. Kurvanti go vatsapadam bhavabdim. So again, we're getting advice from the demigods who are offering prayers. And before I speak about their prayers, I'd like to offer my special and respectful obeisances to His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami, one of the great mentors in my life, a great international treasure. Thank you very much for all that you do. Hare Krishna. I offer my respectful obeisances to all the devotees who are present here today. You're all Vaishnavas and therefore are the most worshipable. Hare Krishna. So this is taking place in the Bhagavatam just before Krishna's appearance. He's there already within the womb of Devaki. And the demigods know this, and therefore they've come to her abode, and they're offering obeisances to the Lord within the womb, knowing that He's going to appear. And they're appreciating His divine qualities and the way in which He's going to perform His pastimes and cleanse the world of the burden of the demoniac forces that had developed and to uplift the devotees. And here we find this very pointed advice. Tvayambu chaksha kila satvadami. First, talking about the Lord as a person. This is a vital point because all around the world people speak about God, but they don't have an idea of His personality. They may have a vague idea, but they're hesitant to describe the Lord. In fact, in many traditions, it's considered a blasphemy to try to make an image of the Lord or to speak of the Lord's form. Of course, in our culture, you see forms of the Lord everywhere. For instance, in India, everywhere you go, the form of the Lord is wholly apparent and available for everyone to see. Partly because the Srimad Bhagavatam gives a complete explanation of the form of the Lord. And here, in an abbreviated form, He's described Tvayambujaksha. So, Ambujaksha, He's lotus-eyed. This is a hint or a big clue that He's a person, because people have eyes. This is also in the oldest literatures, the Upanishads. In Sri Upanishad, for instance, it is said, Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pihitam mukam tatvam pushana pavrenu satyadharmaya drishtaye. The devotee is praying to the Lord in this verse and saying, please remove the effulgence of your transcendental rays so I can see your form of bliss. Mukam means face. Nobody can dispute that. I mean, you can try, but you'll look like a fool. But the Upanishads, and most definitely the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, and the Vedanta Sutra is a summary of the Upanishads. It describes the Lord in full, his form. So we, as sentient beings need to have an object of meditation. Someone, something, and ultimately someone that we can place our attention upon and feel satisfied. This is our constant quest, but we don't find it anywhere in this world. All the forms that I put my gaze upon will eventually diminish. People look at the forms of beautiful people in this world, but I've noticed a trend nowadays on the internet where anyone who was beautiful before is now ridiculed for having changed their form and grown old. For instance, they'll take a whole bunch of movie stars that used to be worshipped for their beauty, and then they'll say, "You want to know what they look like now?" And then they'll say, they look horrible. Can you imagine that? And this is my experience in the material world, that all the forms morph into something which is below my expectation for beauty. I want absolute, perfect beauty without any flaw. This is the aesthetic that I desire at every minute. But at every minute, whatever beauty I gaze upon in this world changes into something that's less than desirable. Therefore, I'm left unfulfilled again and again and again. The Bhagavatam brings us to Krishna's form, Ambujaksha. And his stunning beauty is marked by adbhuta, which means wonderment. This is one of the qualities that Srila Rupa Goswami mentions in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is there within the Lord, which means that every time the devotees see him, he looks more beautiful than he was before. And it's not just because the lighting was different or something like that. Like sometimes people see somebody else that didn't look that good, but then later on, they look better. Or this kind of being blind because of love. For instance, probably gives the example that a child born blind, but his mother names him lotus-eyed out of love. So in a similar way, sometimes people are blinded by love. Even a sea cow. Have you ever seen a sea cow? Perhaps the ugliest creature I've ever seen, but they look at a male sea cow, looks into the female's eyes and thinks, "Oh, you're so beautiful." But Krishna's not like that. He's actually the most beautiful, and his qualities also are attractive. That's why his name is Krishna. And they're forever increasing. In fact, Brahma, when offering his prayers to the Lord in the Brahma Vimohana Lila, in the 14th chapter of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, says that if scientists someday could count all of the grains of sand on all the beaches in the world, or they could count all the stars in the sky, they would not be able to count the unlimited qualities of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for they're ever increasing and more enchanting. And therefore, every time the devotees look at him, they're filled with wonderment that how could he be so beautiful? He's stunningly beautiful. He captures the eyes and the hearts of the devotees. Tvayambujaksha kila sattvadamni. And he's also the source of everything and of all spiritual energy. All this spiritual world, all the dhams, everything emanates from him. Samadhi naveshita chetasaike. So then the verse says that samadhi, di means to meditate, means to fix one's mind somewhere. So samadhi means that one can fix one's mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can make him the object of your meditation and you won't be disappointed. That's the place you can look. In fact, this is mentioned in the Bhagavatam in many places. In the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, it's in there. Deyam sada paribhavagnam abhishta doham tirtaspanam shiva varinchi nutam sharanyam brityartiham pranatapala bababdi potam vande mahapurushate charanara. This is a verse that describes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's glorifying his lotus feet. It's by Karabhajana Muni. And he says, Dhyayam Sada. So again, this word Dhyayam means to meditate. And he said, you can meditate on the Lord for how long? Sada. Means forever. You don't have to stop. It's not a point where you go like, yeah, I don't like this anymore. It'll always be fulfilling to look at the beautiful feet of the Lord and all the features of the Lord. Dhyayam Sada Paribhavagnam. And if you fix your mind there, he says, then paribhavagnam. Gnam means to destroy something. So paribhava is the embarrassment of material life. I'm embarrassed that I'm dwindling because I'm used to being eternal. But when I'm encased in this material body, it's always falling apart. Parts are falling off all the time. So I have to put them back on. And also, I have to invest in all kinds of therapies and creams and everything like that to keep from just coming apart at the seams, which eventually I do anyway. But one's freed from the embarrassment of material life, paribhavagnam abhishta doham. And one's heart's desire, the thing that we're really looking for, is fulfilled by fixing one's mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Paribhavagnam abhishta doham. Tirtasparam shiva varinchi. Shiva varinchi nutam sharanyam means that the Lord is the source of all the tirtas, all the holy places. In fact, his lotus feet are the reservoir of the holy places. So if you offer your respectful obeisances to Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet, you get the result of going to all the holy places. Save yourself the airfare. Tirtaspadam Shiva Varinchi. Shiva Varinchi Nutam. That means Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma. They're offering their obeisances to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, why not you? Shiva Vrinchi Nutam Sharan Brityartiham Pranatapala. And again here, this metaphor of the boat, just as in today's verse is given. Brityartiham, the Brityas, the devotees of the Lord, Brityartiham, they find that by serving the Lord, they get a boat by which they can cross over material existence. This is in today's verse also. Kurvanti kulvatsapadam pada potena. Potena means a boat. This is the pada potena means the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord. So this is a worthy boat. And how do you get on that boat? Today's verse is telling. Tvayam bhujaksha kila satvadani samadhita veshita chetasaika. So eka saike means fix your mind in this one place. Don't deviate it here and there. This also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam in the second chapter of the first canto, Divinity and Divine Service. Tasmad ekena manasa bhagavan sattvatam pati shrotavya kirtitavyascha dhyaya pujam chanityada. Again, same words are being offered. Dhyayam, to meditate. And this says, tasmad, it's saying therefore, because it's described how potent meditating on the Lord is. So it says, tasmad, this is Sutta Goswami, tasmad ekena manasa, your mind should be in one place. And where is that? Bhagavan Sattvatam Pati, on Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Pati. He's the master of all the devotees. Shrotavya kirtitavyascha. So he's naming the ways in which you can meditate on the Supreme Lord. Shrotavya, you can hear about him. Shrotavya kirtitavyascha, and then you can speak about him or sing about him. Cha means and so on. So all these other methods, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, etc. Kirtita cha dhyayam pujas chanityada. And you can worship him and continually. You can go on doing that. So this is the way to fix one's mind. This is good to know because as in the Mangalartik this morning we heard the verse Vyavasayatmika buddhir eke hakuranandana. Bahushaka hinantascha burayo vyavasayinam. If you don't fix your mind on the one place where you'll find satisfaction, then your mind will become bahushaka, many branched. And this is what happens when people start to look at all kinds of things in the material world and try to find satisfaction. They end up with no less than 1,000 television channels. I've seen it. When I was a kid, there were 2 channels. And one news station, Huntley Brinkley, that was it. And you had to walk over it and you had to turn the knob in order to switch the channel and, hit the antenna so it would like, maybe one other channel besides Huntley Brinkley was on for like half an hour at night. That was it. That was all the news you get for the whole day. And maybe a couple other channels, that's it. But now 1,000 channels. This is Bahu Shaka, many branched. Everybody's attention going this way, that way. But no satisfaction. And no peace at all from meditating there. So all the Shastras are bringing us together and saying, take your vision and focus it on the Lord through these 9 processes of devotional service. Then you'll feel satisfied. And then the verse gives us this way of directing our life practically. Tvat pada potena mahatkritena. Mahatkritena means you should follow in the footsteps of the Mahat. That means Krishna, and it also means his devotees. So, Maya has a big plan for all of us. But you're not going to like it. Somebody comes out and says, yeah, we got a great plan for you here today, Mr. Rogers. You sit down here and just sign this paperwork. Better read it carefully first. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Brahma bhuvana loka punar avartino jana mamupetya tu konteya punar janmana vidyate. Whatever plan you get in the material world is going to be spoiled because it's fraught with birth and death. And here's the score so far in the material world. Maya, 1 trillion to the trillionth power, and Jiva, 0. Nobody's won yet. Of course, people keep trying. That's the sad news of it all, that I keep trying to enact my plan. But the problem is that Maya introduces plans that end up taking us off the route that is in our self-interest and crashing us into a lake somewhere. So the trick is then to have a bigger plan than Maya has for you. Just like, people all the time, they'll call you up and they'll say, got a plan for you. I'd like you to join my plan. Get on my page. And by the way, I need money. And, they have all this thing. You better have a bigger plan ready before somebody calls. Have your plan in place, because then they call up and they say, I got a plan for you today. It's like, oh, that's nice, but I already have a plan, sorry. So Maya has a plan for every one of us, but we have to have a much bigger plan than Maya's plan that we're already signed up for. Sorry, already signed up. Can't help you. I can't sign up for your plan. So the plan to sign up for is this Mahat Kritena. It's the plan already chalked out by the Mahat. Find out who the greatest person is. Find out who the smartest person is. It's Krishna. And it's his devotees who follow Krishna and offer the plan to everybody else. And follow them. And even if you're a little squirt, you're just a nobody, insignificant. The Bhagavatam says, Bejare munayo tagre bhagavantam adhoksajam sattvam vishuddham she maya kalpante yenutaniha. Kalpante means you become eligible. How do you become eligible for this big plan that's being offered by Krishna and his great devotees? The verse says that previously all the great souls, Bejare munayo tagre, agre means previously, the Munis, the great thinkers, the great souls, Bhagavan, Bejre Munayota, great Bhagavanham Adhoksajam. They worshipped Adhoksaja, who's beyond the modes of material nature. Because they knew that that's how you derive the greatest benefit in life, is to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bejre Munayota, great Bhagavantam Adhoksajam, Sattvam Vishuddham Shemaya. Because Bhagavan is beyond the 3 modes of material nature, therefore Shemaya, you'll get the best results. There's nothing compares to this. And then it says, Kalpante yenutaniha. If you follow these great souls, you may not be a great soul yourself, But if you follow them to the best of your ability, then kalpante yena tani, you become eligible also for the exact same results that they got. And this verse indicates the same thing. The Kurvanti Govatsapa yat twatpada potena mahadkritena, if you follow the great souls, then you also become eligible on their plan. It's like, these big plans the government puts up. You sign up for it and you're in. So there's a big plan that Krishna has, and he wants everyone to sign up. And the great souls, the devotees, they're the ones that go around sign everybody up. It's like, forget your plan, it's not working. It's not going to work out. It takes a while to convince people though, because everyone thinks their plan's going to work, right? It's like, I got a plan, oh, it's going to work this time. Wait a minute, it's never worked. No one's ever got it before. Prahlad Maharaj says, Maya's always won and the jiva's always lost. Wake up. Follow Krishna's plan. Don't take your own concocted plan or the plan that Maya gave you. Who gave you that plan anyway? It's like, I don't know, this guy came over, he knocked on the door, I just took it. Don't take it. And Prabhupada said that Maya is like a silver-tongued salesperson. Comes to the door, you look it through the people, and it's like, don't open the door. Just don't open it. She'll put her foot in the door and talk you into it. Next thing, can I move in, by the way? Sure, come on in, I guess, Family comes over, who's that? It's like, I told her to move in. She's got a plan for us. Don't take the plan. So take Krishna's plan, Mahat Kritena. Find out what the great souls say. Don't take some conditioned soul's word for it, that this is a good plan. Find out what the great souls say and follow that plan. So Rupa Goswami says the same thing in the Upadeshamrita, tat tat karma pravartanat. There's a tradition that's passed down from the acharyas. Line yourself up with the acharyas, acharyopasanam. Worship them by following their plan. And then no matter where you are, you'll be saved. You'll be on the right path and you'll be able to supersede Maya's plan for you because you already have a replacement plan. And when she calls, you just say, sorry, I'd really like to help you, but I'm already busy. I already signed up. Somebody already came by. They signed me up. I can't join right now. So join the Mahats and their plan. And the second thing is, go against the grain. You've heard this saying before? Have you heard it? Now, in woodworking, who's a woodworker here? You don't do any? Mathura Prasad? You do everything. I look to you. So woodworking, the grain goes a certain direction. And it's smooth in one way. If you take your hand across a board, if you go with the grain, it's smooth. It feels smooth. If you go against the grain, it'll feel very rough. In fact, you might even get a splinter. It goes in a certain direction. So this saying means sometimes people say, don't go against the grain, because you're not following the program, so it's gonna be rough for you. Does that make sense? So the Bhagavad Gita tells us, do go against the grain of the material world. The grain in the material world, the smooth part is everyone wants to get cozy. Cozy means comfortable, and I don't have to think about anything. In fact, the main plan that people have in the material world, you tell me if this is true or not. I'm going to work really hard, and as soon as I have enough money, then I'll retire, and I won't have anything to worry about. I'll just live like a king. Yeah? Yeah, that's it. That's the plan. And so, just a little side information, it never works. Because most people, they work their whole life to be able to retire. But when you get old, this is a news flash and a spoiler alert. So if you don't want to hear this, cover your ears. When you get old, you start falling apart really fast. And you got to put out tons of money in order to save yourself from falling apart. So my friend Satyadev Prabhu, who knows a lot about the healthcare system, said most people in America die broke because they save up all their money, and then when they can't work anymore and pay their premiums for their health insurance, then that gets revoked, and the government won't give you a dime until you're broke. So you have to end up working your whole life to retire, and then you spend the rest of the time trying to save yourself from dying. So again, the plan doesn't work. Trying to be comfortable in the material world is not possible. This is explained again and again in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But what does it mean, and what do I mean by saying go against the grain of the material world? It means to do yajna, do sacrifice. That means going against the grain of the material idea that I'm going to get comfortable here. Don't get comfortable in the material world. Get comfortable in yajna. Yajna means to sacrifice for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the whole world is set up by the Lord at the very beginning of creation to accommodate sacrifice for the Supreme. Tapo divyam putraka yena sadvam. If you perform divine austerity, which seems to be outside your comfort zone in the material world, you're not going to get cozy there. You're going to get outside your cozy zone. And you're going to do some yajna. And when you do that, then you'll actually feel satisfied. So don't go with this idea of getting comfortable in the material world, but go with yajna. Be comfortable and be with yajna and get used to it. Do it, integrate it into your life. The best yajna is chanting Hare Krishna. So the essence of all advice by Rupa Goswami is to organize your life around this yajna so that you can chant a prescribed number of rounds every day of chanting Hare Krishna. And attend as many kirtan events as possible. This chanting of the holy name is the only process that works in this Kali Yuga age. And I can prove it. It says in the Kali Santarana Upanishad, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyata. In the Kali Yuga age, chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name. There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way. It's repeated 3 times on both sides for emphasis. So here's where you can focus your attention on hearing and chanting, especially the divine names of Krishna. And find out what the plan of the Mahats are. And if you follow that, even if you're an insignificant person, then you're eligible to get on the boat. And this boat is so powerful, Prabhupada writes in the Krishna book, that when you change your intention and your direction in the material world, and your plan is to get on the boat, even when you just decide, I'm getting in the boat, when you approach it, the ocean shrinks. So this huge ocean, it's impossible to cross. But you say, okay, that's it, I'm getting in the boat, I'm going to follow the Mahats. I'm going to have a bigger plan than Maya's plan, because I'm following Krishna's plan. And now you decide that, and you approach the boat, and now the ocean shrinks. And how big is it? Govatsa padam, that means the size of the hoofprint of a calf. And now you can easily step over it by the power of Krishna's plan. So this is the real shelter in life. Follow Krishna's plan and go against the grain by doing yajna. If you do these 2 things, then your life will be successful. You'll be happy, despite the fact that there's an onslaught of miseries and complexities in the material world. You'll be above it because you'll be protected by Krishna. That's mentioned in the purport. Prabhupada quotes, Samashitaye padapalava plavam bahat padam punya yasho marare bhavam budir vatsa param padam 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 yadvi padam natesha, which means don't try to take shelter anywhere in this material world because it's vipadam. It means that any second your plan can fall through. You can make a misstep. That's what vipadam means. And your whole thing will be ruined. So take shelter of Krishna because he's the source and the shelter of the entire cosmic manifestation. He already proved it when he came, killed all these big demons nonchalantly, very easily. He can take care of it. He's good for it. And he makes this promise in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam braja aham tang sarva papebhyo mokshayishami masucha. He's just put it all on me. You surrender to me completely, I'll protect you. And don't worry, stop worrying. Don't worry so much. Just take shelter of me and I will protect you. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. And now we'll take a few reflections, questions. Maharaj, would you like to add? We have a special mic coming to you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much for the wonderful presentation. I was a new devotee and brahmachari, assigned to different areas in the downtown Toronto to distribute books. And I thought, let's try Honest Eds. Does anybody know Honest Eds? Okay. An iconic place on Bloor Street. And there was a flow of people there. And I met a couple of people who were interested in what I was doing, because I was dressed as a devotee and everything. And they considered themselves spiritual. So one of the two said that my friend here, he can speak in tongues. Does anybody know what that is?
Yeah.
In tongues, like you just speak a language and you ramble on, and that means you're very spiritual. And so they rattled on with whatever it was, you know. And I thought, that's beautiful. What does it mean? And they said, well, we don't know. It's very divine. So, and then I quoted this verse, Padam Padam Yadami Padam notation, you know, the second half of it. And it was Hela Padam Sina, and they were so impressed by my. And I said, I just spoke in tongues, and it's a Sanskrit, and here's the translation. It's about surrender to the Lord's lotus feet. Be careful about every step you take. Anyways, it was the verse that really helped on that occasion. At Honest Eds.
Haribo. Uttamananda.
Hare Krishna. Well, how do we can understand the Krishna's plan?
How can you understand Krishna's plan? Just read the Bhagavad Gita. Because it's all laid out. He makes it really clear. Bhagavad Gita is Krishna's plan book. It's his playbook for everybody. So then he tells Arjuna at the end, you know, I've told you my plan, I've told you the way everything works, now it's up to you. You can decide, do or not do. So it's an open secret. Raja Vijaya Raja Kuhyam. He said this is the most secret of all secrets, but it's printed right there in black and white. And so anybody can read it and understand what Krishna's plan is. Prabhupada was having a discussion with this famous yogi, and the yogi was saying, God's plan is very enigmatic, it's mysterious, nobody knows. And Prabhupada said, that's not true. He said, everybody knows. It's in the Bhagavad Gita, just read it. That's Krishna's plan. His plan is, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamikam. You surrender, I protect you. That's his plan.
Someone may say that, Arjuna in the situation to fight, so Krishna is okay, very safe. All the plans are for you. But for other people.
Yeah, the Gita Mahatmya says that the Krishna is famous as what? Cowherd boy. The Bhagavad Gita is cow. Arjuna is calf. And so Krishna is milking the cow of the Bhagavad Gita, and he's giving the milk to Arjuna and everybody else in the world. And this is confirmed also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's mentioned that when Lord Krishna shot the arrow of his instructions from the Bhagavad Gita, it saved the whole world. It's meant for everybody. So when Krishna speaks, although he speaks to one person, like Uddhava or Arjuna, he intends it for everybody in the world. And it's recorded so that everyone can take advantage of it. Maharaj?
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's short. You've heard this one, I'm sure. What makes God laugh?
when you make your own plan.
Yeah, your plans. When he looks at your plans.
My takeaway was don't get comfortable in the material world, but instead get comfortable in the yajna.
Yes.
By getting out of your cozy zone. And then only then you will feel truly satisfied.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. You can feel, and Krishna asked this question in the 4th chapter of the Gita. He says, where has anybody ever found satisfaction without doing yajna? It's just not possible. People don't know. The world's meant for yajna. Human form is meant for performing a divine sacrifice. That's what you're meant for. And when you do that, you feel happy. It's good to know. Good to know. These other ideas, like there was a big signboard that said, I forget what it was. It was some kind of malt liquor. Malt liquor is like a heavy alcoholic beverage. And it said something like, blackstrap malt liquor gets you cozy. And that's Maya's plan. That's how to get cozy. You know, you get cozy like that. It said, Prabhupada tells, person invites you over. You come over to my house. It's a beautiful house. I'll give you whatever you want. How about, I don't know, $5 million. That's not enough. $500 million. And I'll also give you ice cream and a spoon and whatever else. And at the end, and you can have whatever you want in my house. But at the end of the day, 3 big men are going to come out from the back. They'll take back the $500 million, make you vomit up the ice cream. They'll beat you with shoes, put you in a car, drive you down the freeway, and kick you out along the side of the road, and you won't know where you are. Will you take it? Say no. It's not a good plan, but that's the plan in the material world. Because whatever we get is taken back at the time of death. You think, I got so many things. Yeah, but 3 big men are going to come out and beat you up and take it back. Then you'll be stuffed in some compartment, a womb, and then all of a sudden you'll pop out somewhere on the side of the road, all bloody, and you go like, where am I? It's like, nobody knows. You just showed up, you know. That's birth and death in the material world. Not a good plan. Krishna's plan is, you meditate on me, you do divine sacrifice, and at the end of this life, janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tatvata tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sojana. Then you don't take birth here anymore. Do that yajna. Think of Krishna. Know about Krishna. Study the science of Krishna. There's nothing better. That's the plan. Nirakula.
I'm thinking of your sister while you were talking about this. She was someone who followed the rules of
Oh boy, did
society.
she ever. One day we were at my parents' house, and she had to move the car off the driveway onto the street. So she was looking around, and I said, what are you doing? Here's the keys right here. And she had, I have to get my operator's license. I said, for heaven's sake, you're just moving the car off the driveway.
She once got a ticket for going 5 miles over the speed limit. You know, like,
Yeah.
that's how she was. She followed the rules. But, and she had a plan. She always had a plan. And on the day that she got the acceptance of her retirement, she was a professor of geology. On the day she got the acceptance of her retirement, she also got the diagnosis that she had pancreatic cancer, stage 4.
3 months to live.
Yeah, and so that was her plan, gone. And, you know,
Yeah, the plans get messed up in the material world. And it's uncanny how messed up they can get.
but I think people feel like if they follow the rules of the plan.
Yeah, if they're law-abiding citizens and carefully do everything right, it still doesn't come out. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Uttamananda Prabhu, you're back in.
Prabhu, like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna saying we desire Krishna's sanction and to Maya fulfill. So you are saying that Maya Devi is make plan for us. So are Maya Devi plan for us, or we make plan for Maya Devi to create all?
Well, Maya Devi offers it to everybody, but if we become weak and we accept her plan, then we have to suffer. So once a devotee said, Prabhupada, but Maya is so strong. And then Prabhupada answers, it's not that Maya is so strong, it says your intention's so weak. So he gave an example. He said, if you keep yourself physically fit, your diet's good, you eat a lot of berries, antioxidants, and you're fit, you have a good outlook on life and so forth, you won't fall sick. So similarly, if you keep yourself spiritually strong, you'll be inoculated. Maya may be there all around you, but you won't be tempted because your intention is strong. So you're not pulled in by the plan. As soon as you get spiritually weak, then Maya's plan starts looking okay again. It's like, yeah, maybe I'll go back and look at it again.
My reflection was have a plan, which should be Krishna's plan rather than having Maya have a plan for you. And it resonated with me because lots of times family invites you to come over, there's this wedding or this thing going on, that thing going on. But if you have a plan, no, I have a service, I have this festival to go to the temple, then there's a lot more understanding and it's much more easier to
Yes. It's very practical too. You really do have to fill in your calendar. Because if you leave open days, it's like, by the way. Yes.
Thank you for really wonderful words. Thank you so much.
A little closer, just keep it close.
So what happens when you get on the boat? Like you mentioned that Krishna is exhaustible. So is there some way we reach? Is there an itinerary the boat stops here? How do you know where you are when you're on the boat? I know the boat ride is surely going to be enjoyable every moment. But is there some way we reach?
Well, of course, just like, recently when we're traveling, Nirakula and I would go to places we're not used to. We're not sure if we're on the right train, but then they make an announcement. They'll say, you're just going to the last stop. And then everybody gets off. And so the last stop is there mentioned in Goloka Namni Nijadamni Tale Tatasya Devi Mahesha Haridama Suteshu Teshu Te Te Prabhava Nichaya Vihitaschayena Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. There's this progression listed as lowest of all is Devi Dham, above that is Mahesh Dham, above Mahesh Dham is Haridam, above Haridam is Goloka, Krishna's own planet. So, if you get on the boat, it goes to the last stop, Goloka. You get off there. Prabhupada gave us a special kind of boat. You get on this boat, the boat of Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet is mentioned by Narottam Das Thakur in his song, Gaurangera Duti Pada. He says, in that song, he said, if you dive into the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is get absorbed in the Sankirtan movement, helping to push the Sankirtan movement and following the tenets of the process of Sankirtan, then you'll come out on the ocean of Radha and Krishna's pastimes. But Rupa Goswami says in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that when you start the process of devotional service, then immediately you feel relief from all material distress. Because just by beginning the process of bhakti, the sinful reactions of our past lives, and even of this life, which means the prarabdha karma, our bodies actually are transformed because of the potent effects of the process, especially chanting Hare Krishna. This is mentioned by Rupa Goswami in many ways, how the neophyte devotee, the person who's just beginning, feels this relief by getting in the boat and has a clear sense that he or she is under the protection of Krishna. And so the devotee, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, not to mix all these metaphors, but he gives this understanding of how the seed is planted in our heart of devotional service. really that means the desire to engage in the process. We get that from devotees. And as we water that seed more and more, then it grows. Even as I'm here in the material world, it grows and it penetrates the material universe, and it goes all the way to Goloka and entangles itself in the lotus feet of Krishna, the way creepers do around, another tree. And then although you may be living in this world, you're simultaneously in the spiritual world. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says you have to go on watering, because if you stop or if you blaspheme devotees, then you can break the creeper and it can dry up. So you have to be a careful gardener. So the sense is that as soon as you get into the process, it's like getting into the boat, you'll sense it for yourself that you're getting this relief. And you'll also, as you advance, develop this dual citizenship. That you're here in this world, but you're actually also simultaneously in the spiritual world. Hare Krishna.
It's just that what takeaway for me is how we can just follow the path laid down by great devotees and Mahajans. Like Srila Prabhupada has made it so easy for us by laying down all the plan exactly for us what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, this is an excellent and a very important point. The acharyas, the great acharyas, they set up a process so that everybody else can follow it. And as mentioned in this purport, they do it so it's simple for themselves, but also so that it can be distributed to others. But especially we can see in the way Prabhupada's methodology was, he was very much concerned that the whole world had a process to follow by which they could make this advancement in devotional service. So he painstakingly, if you look at these books, it's amazing. He put in the Devanagari. He insisted upon it. He wanted the Devanagari for authenticity. And then you have the Romanized Sanskrit. And then you have word for word. Who does that? I mean, you won't find that anywhere else. And then you find the translation and purport, which is weaving in the commentaries of all the acharyas. And we can go on and on. The list grows to a staggering length that Prabhupada went to establish a process that everyone could be in. In fact, I'm always touched when I read when Prabhupada was first going to India. I mean, the movement didn't have any money back then. And Prabhupada had all these plans. One of the plans was he was going to build an American house, he called it, in India, so that his Western disciples could come there and live in the Dham. And he provided for that. He engaged his disciples in collecting all this money, and he had a transcendental plot by selling books, and that's how the places were built, along with a party in Japan that collected a lot of money. And all that was to build the infrastructure so that the devotees could go and stay there peacefully and chant Hare Krishna. That was his main concern. So this is the sign of the acharyas, that they have the wherewithal and the compassion to develop a plan that's so big that everybody in the world can come in and follow it. And so we have something to distribute, actually, something to come back to. But we also have a lot of work to do, too. The last couple of days I've been talking to the devotees here about hospitality and so many things. And it's a big job to make sure there's full facility when people do come and say, I want shelter. We have to be able to give them a place where they can fully take up the process. So that's part of our following the plan of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, is to absorb ourselves in the ways and means to do that so that everybody can take advantage. Yes? Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I had many questions around 7 years back, why life, why death, why rebirth, and that was affecting my mind. Like I was in stress, like I was not getting the answers, so I was not able to. That there was nothing to motivate me towards. And then Dasa introduced Krishna. So I said, I read Bhagavad Gita, I read like Hanuman Chalisa. What would this Mahamantra do? But he was like, it can do something. So I started and I read Self-Realization, the Science of Self-Realization. I'm a bad reader. I don't like reading, but I read that book with me like 7 Then I was inclined towards Krishna. I was able to understand, like, and slowly. After that, I was there in a lecture 2 years back. You were here. Brahma said, "Come here." Vaisesika Dasa is here. Then I came and I was sitting on the front. And after attending a lecture, I got a hint, like this is the right way. And then I chant 9 rounds now a day and read Srimad Bhagavatam verse. And with this, like, I have got the answers to a very good extent by reading and listening to your lectures, Indrajit's family lectures, Prabhupada lectures. So with this, like, I have changed my life, stress is gone, and I am a biggest, like, very good motivator for many people too. And like many people, like, I'm trying to spread the same love, the same Krishna to most of the people. It gives me a peace, like, I'm happy, I want to share the happiness. And in other thing is, like, I'm learning astrology. So in that planetary systems, there is one planet, it's called Ketu. It's in the 12th house. So according to the Shastras or Vedic Shastras, like astrology Shastras, it says that if this planet is there, it means liberation. This is the liberation, not the last life, it's liberation. So I align the things, like, I am on the path of liberation through Krishna consciousness. The mystery is going like that. So it's very good for me to have your blessings and towards being a Krishna devotee. Hare Krishna.
What a nice testimonial. Thank you. That's beautiful. We'll take maybe 1 or 2 more. Yes, a follow-up.
You mentioned 2 prerequisites for getting to our boat again. One, yajna, and the other, bhakti. Now, it seems to me from your talk that both are one and the same thing. But when you word by word translate it into English, bhakti is devotion and yajna is sacrifice. It seems to be a dichotomy. And you.
Actually, from my recollection, what I was saying was that to have 2 points I was making. One was have a bigger plan than Maya's plan, and the other one is to perform yajna. So yajna and bhakti are the same, because our sacrifice is manmana bhavamad bhakto. It's to fix our minds on Krishna. And especially in this age to do that, it's to repeat the Mahamantra. So that's the best yajna, is to chant Hare Krishna. So I wasn't intending to mention 2 separate things. Bhakti and yajna are the same. Tapo divyam putrakayena sarvam. So thank you very much, everyone, for your dedication to making this boat available to everybody. Is it raining today? Yes, it is. So we may literally need a boat pretty soon. But this is the main purpose of our Krishna consciousness movement, is to take full advantage of the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and to make it available to as many people as possible. These 2 things that go on simultaneously. And if you do that, then you're squarely in the boat yourself. And Krishna gives special consideration to those who are teaching and spreading Krishna consciousness to others all over the world. It makes you very strong. And especially this Toronto ISKCON Center is very exemplary in organizing and in ways in which to take care of people and to go out to spread Krishna consciousness. So this temple is a beacon of light for people all over the world. So please carry on your wonderful activities, and thank you very much for having Nirakula and myself here in your midst. We always get the greatest nourishment and happiness by coming here and having your association. Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo, Nitai Gaura Haribo, Bo, Haribo, Nitai Gaura Haribo. Vanchakalpatarubhascha kripasinabhevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha nantakoti vaishnavindiki
Marman, Nachari Marman, Nachari Marman, Nachari Marman, hey, Nachari Marman, Nachari Marman, Nachari Marman, Nachari Marman.